Welcome to Educators with Oil. I am your hostess, Ronette Branham, here to offer biblical strategies for effective teaching. Thank you for joining me today. I am excited that you are here. I I was looking through what it is that teachers need. What are we looking for? What are our concerns I talked about before prior? And now I'm talking about, how we have to look for professional development workshops and we have to figure out what it is we need to what it is that we need to choose as a workshop as a professional development. Sorry about that. And we really don't get that much direction. We just get a little bit of sign up for something for math, sign up for something for literacy, but then it may end up being the same workshops over and over. So what I decided to see is how do we choose workshops? How do we come up upon what what it is that we need? Because we actually need a lot. We get to our districts and we talk to our principals and our administrators, and we come up with things, and we say that workshop wasn't productive. That workshop didn't do it for me. What about these type of workshops? So we have to hear an echo. Is that me? Am I on something? Um, am I on somewhere? Oh, I think that's my YouTube. Okay, so we need to just look and see, find out what our needs are. I have two different perspectives for choosing a professional development workshop. And one is faith with a faith focus, looking for a workshop that has a faith focus. We're Christians. I'm a Christian promoting biblical strategies and faith-based, faith perspective. We look for workshops. The workshops are not necessarily faith-based, mostly likely they're not. And we have to look from our perspective of what type of workshop will best benefit us. So I know choosing professional development with a faith focus is like you have to identify professional development opportunities that align with your values, Christian values, and contribute to both personal and career growth. So you won't just look for something that you say, oh, I'm not choosing that because I know they're talking about something that's against what I believe in, or I'm just looking for that because I know they're talking about faith. No, you're a teacher, so you need something that's going to work for you and in your career. You're not just choosing something. Uh, so it's important. It's an important decision. So it directly impacts your growth and effectiveness in your classroom. The workshops you choose. If you choose workshops that are not helping you, you're going to see that. That's going to be evident that you went to workshops all week and then you come up with nothing new. You have nothing new, and that's not productive. So I have also you're going to look at some things. I have some things to consider. You're going to look at you're going to identify your personal goals and your needs. You have to, because why am I choosing math 101 when uh just say it's math 101, psychology 101? Why am I choosing that when I already have that down pack? I understand what I need to do, how I need to teach that, and now I want to move on, and I want my students to be I want to be better equipped to teach my students. So I need to find something new. So I'm going to reflect on my teaching practices and identify areas that I would like to improve, and then consider the specific needs of my students. Because choosing it, considering the needs of my students, I may need to know how to, just say I changed direction. I may need to know how to teach another new demographic. Just say I have all French speaking students, all Spanish speaking students, or uh, students of a different I don't even know, whatever they need. If they need to know, Just say they need SEL. You need to work on social emotional development with your students. Choose something that works, that talks about that you can easily move into. And also I would teach look at uh professional development uh workshops that align with your school's goals and initiatives. So your school has a new math program. The most obvious choice is to choose uh, a workshop that is expounding on that new program. And this is the program that my school has. This is the new framework that my school has. So I would choose a workshop that works for that. That is aligned with that. That it aligns with the goals and the initiatives of our school district. Or our school. And this way, it will help us implement the strategies that they are telling us we need to implement. So that is something to look for. Identifying your personal goals and needs, and of your students. Identify um, workshops that align with the school's goals and initiatives. Then you might choose something that keeps you informed on educational trends. You may know that students, like for instance, me, I didn't do a workshop, but I did a little study on students in Switzerland. I think it was Switzerland. Might have been Finland. Don't ask me why. I don't even know why I said the place, but it was somewhere in Europe. Somewhere in Europe, and it was talking about how the school systems implement rest or play in their day. And so I have done that, and I watch how it works, because I let my students work a little bit hard, right? You grind a little bit, learning phonics, learning reading strategies and things like that. And then they take a break and they play with no work. They say, what can I do? Whatever you want to do, color, draw, go on your computer, learn how to draw something, play a game, go to Starfall, whatever it is that you want to do. Uh, you're not watching videos and that kind of stuff, but anything that is acceptable in a school setting that has nothing to do with me giving it, telling you to do. So I have science bins, science little kits where they play with magnets, they do mass, and they have movement, they have a host of things. I have Jenga, I have magnetiles, I have puzzles. I had puzzles. I don't think I have puzzles now. I had different things that they can do. Flashcards if they want to practice math or something like that. That kind of stuff. So then we play hard. We work hard again, like for math. Work hard, and you finish at a certain time before math. We stop, and I let you play. And that worked for my class last year, and it's working now. And they understand, okay, you have 10 minutes that you're going to play. When it gets down, when I say you have 1 minute left, that's cleanup time. So you really don't have 1 minute. So, you have 1 minute left. Now, that 1 minute you use to clean up. And then when it's clean, when that buzzer goes off, you should be done cleaning. You don't have that much stuff out. So that, if they follow those rules, they know the next day they could do the same thing. But if decide they don't want to clean up and they want to take their time and all that, then they will have to, the next day they won't get it, or the next time of the day. So then you got to consider the different formats. Maybe the formats don't work for you. Maybe they're online, or maybe you need online, and you, this workshop that you see that you might be interested in, that it's, you have to drive an hour to get there, or it just it might be in a conference forum. It might be a webinar. It might be an online course, or collaborative learning with the community. We have something called PLC every week with our grade level, or with our a group of teachers who have the same thing in common. Like all the dual language teachers, we meet together. It might be all the grade levels meet together. So think about the different formats, and that will help you decide what you should choose. Because I know choosing a PD could be difficult, or it could be mundane. You're like, I'm doing the same thing every time, every year. This is all they offer. Every time you turn around, it's the same literacy, same whatever, same math. I've been doing that math. I'm not going to another math, whatever the program is you had. I'm not going to another Envision workshop. I'm not doing it. We do that, the same ones. And then there might be one that you see and you're like, I want to try to find that, and then you don't find it. It doesn't fit you. It's not in the right time slot, not in the right place. You may not be able to get to it. Then also seek recommendations. Seek recommendations from your peers. Google what you should look for if this is your goal. How do you find? Go to your union. They have a list of workshops that from your state union, from your district union, your county union, that they are offering. You can seek recommendations. Ask colleagues. I went to it last year. I went to a it was a mental health. I'm not sure what you call it. Mental health seminar. It was all day thing, right? I loved it. They had a keynote speaker, but they had a couple speakers, and then they had offered different opportunities, different activities that we did with each speaker. The next year, which was this year, I told my coworkers, and I said, you should go. This was really great. This workshop, and it was helping you to relax and showing you how to relax, showing you that mental health aspect of your job. And so we did that. Some people, when I said next year, let's see if we can get everybody to go. So I went, and then I saw teachers from my old school. They were there. They were like, this was cool, Ronette. This was great. I really enjoyed it, and it really helped me. And it helped us to look inside. There's one thing I learned from my last one that I say all the time when I'm talking to somebody. And it's something that we already know, but the way the speaker said it, it was so awesome. And it's more of personal matter, not you as a teacher or what you're doing as a teacher, but it was something profound that we already knew, but the way he gave it, it was awesome. And so I say it all the time now. And so you can also look for workshops that have practical applications. They provide practical strategies and tools that could be implemented in your classroom. If someone says, well, that I understand that workshop, but you can't implement that stuff. It's too difficult. You have to be at another level. You have to be someplace else. So find one that somebody recommended that was easy to utilize, easy to implement, easy to execute. You ready to get that emotion or apply what you learned, and you find things that are so difficult to implement that doesn't work for you, right? That doesn't work for you. So I have a scripture for that. In Philippians 4:9, it says, whatever you have learned or received or heard from me or seen in me, put it into practice. That means, like, don't just think about it, do it. Proverbs 16:13 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and your plans will succeed. Proverbs 16:9, and his heart a man plans his course, but the Lord determines his steps. So that is saying you have to look to the word and get direction. Not only are you getting direction from your peers and your personal goals, but you're getting direction, following the direction of how God says to follow it. You study it. What you learn, receive, do it. Once you get that practical application workshop, then actually do it. And then check for relevance and timeliness. It might be a workshop that you need or something, and it might be take too long. It might be a whole course. You might think, oh, I gotta go give up every Saturday. I might have to give up every Thursday night, every Tuesday and Thursday after work. I don't want to do that. Some people may want to do that. So think about the timeliness of it. Consider the content and whether it addresses your current challenges or trends in education, or is it something that you really don't need, or if it doesn't teach to your grade level. It might be a great workshop for somebody who teaches high school or elementary school, depends on or a great workshop for preschool, and it might not work for kindergarten or first grade. Look at that, and then think about the budgets, your budget and the logistics of it. Do these professional development workshops, do they cost? Is it worth it to you to actually Is it worth it to you to actually pay for it? Does it cost? Is it offered by your district? Is it offered by your union that you don't have to pay, or you have to pay if you don't attend? Or if it's a class and you have to pay if you do not pass the class, if it's a class. We have to think about all that. Is it in your budget? Do you really want to pay for it? Explore local and online options to make professional development more accessible. Has to be more accessible. Don't try to look for something it's an hour away in the opposite direction of your house. If you're leaving work, then that means you have to drive 2 hours back to home. You don't want to do that. So I'm thinking of all that. Evaluate the reputation of the provider. If they have a reputation of coming through, giving you more value for your buck, go for it. What if it's somebody who's offering you little to nothing and they're charging you? Or they you always say I come back with things that I already knew. It's nothing great or profound. I get the same old. Or the last time, like I did with that workshop that I went, it was access. It was about wellness. It was a wellness. That's what it was. Wellness workshop. I told somebody, because we didn't even pay for it. I mean, we pay for it with our dues and all that, but I didn't have to come up off any extra money. And it was, if I had to pay for it, it would have been worth a certain amount, to purchase the tickets. They would have had to pay probably less people, but it was great value for whatever our state union paid for it. It was awesome. I don't know how often they do those workshops, but it was worth it. It was worth me driving 40 minutes, 20, 35 minutes, however long I had to drive. It was worth that drive. The last year, it was just 6, 7 minutes away from my house. You couldn't beat that either. And then reflect on your previous experiences. So consider the success and of the past professional development experiences and identify the elements that were particularly beneficial. What part of the workshops were beneficial to you? So go into the next workshop, that whatever you choose, looking for the same type of come out. I have some people that I work with in another group that they have a guy. He made up a sheet, a worksheet for you to go into a workshop with. So you come out with what you want. We're trying to take notes and we don't know what to take. We're just writing. But he has particular questions on this sheet, and it's been so you come out with a benefit. What are the actions that they give you? Things like that. What were the points that they made? If there was any, did you catch something else? Different things. I really don't remember what he has on that sheet, but it's something. So that remember that professional development is an ongoing process, and a combination of various workshops and learning experience may be the most effective approach to continuous improvement. So if you continually go to workshops, you'll continually improve. I heard somebody say today, he was talking about evolution, and evolution is just a broad way to explain it is, if you leave things to themselves, they will evolve, they will change. And that doesn't make any sense, because we know that if you leave something to itself and it does nothing, it will stay still. I forgot the law. And so something in motion will stay in motion until you stop it. So you don't evolve, but you develop. And the only way you develop is you continually experience things. You continually go to workshops. You continually learn. So just continual improvement is what we're looking for. So engaging in reflective practices also. You have to engage and reflect on what we learn. If we learn something during that workshop, we will learn something this school year. We learned something this year, even on our breaks or whatever. We learned it. Reflect and see, what did I learn? How can I utilize this? How can I use this? So what also, just think there's different types now. That's how you choose what you choose. But then there's different types. include the various needs, goals, and context of your teaching. Pedago- pedago- pedagogical. How I say that word? Pedagogy workshops focus on teaching strategy and methodologies, right? Explore innovative and evidence-based instruction techniques. So that's what we're looking for. So pedagogy teaches differentiation, project-based, cooperative learning. So we want to look for those. Maybe we want to look for those. Then it might be you might look for a subject specific training. You may need you like for instance, we have MacBooks now. Our district for our teachers, they gave us all MacBooks. I have no clue. Every day I practice, I need a specific workshop to learn how to use that Mac. So I have to look for that. So I'm going to go, like I keep telling people, I'm going to Apple and ask some questions, get some. I know they give classes on Saturdays. So I'm going to see when is the next class for a MacBook. I went there and I learned some things about taking pictures at Apple. So there's so many classes that you could just specific training. So dive deep into content, knowledge, and effective ways to teach specific subjects. Maybe someone knows how to teach that math, that particular math program that you have with fidelity, and they can do and they can help you. That's something. Or address the latest developments in education eh, pertaining to your curriculum. You can do that. See what is the latest trends. How are students learning how to read now? How are they implementing phonics? Or are they using phonics? Are they going back to that whole word? What? I don't know. I use phonics and that works for me. And it might be you might need technology integration workshops where you need to learn how to teach and use technology in the classroom. You may need to learn how to use uh, that smart TV. You may need to know how to use that Apple TV with your MacBook and use that, and that way you'll have a touch screen if it doesn't time out or something. you know Learn the educational apps, the online tools and digital resources that you can use. There's so much that we can use. Uh so many technology workshops out there. Explore what's effective, and what's effective that you can incorporate into your classroom. Another, you might need assessment and feedback sessions. Focus on various assessment methods. How are we going to assess our students? Is this test the best uh, uh, performance indicator? Should we make up a different one? We have to look at. Hey, Zenaida, I don't know if you're still here. Thank you for joining me. So, look at the explore ways to use assessment data to inform your teaching, because you might just give a test and you never go back and look at it. You may never go back and see, well, oh, I didn't even realize my students didn't know that. I didn't understand. I didn't know. So now you know. Typing a note. I made a mistake with that. Okay. Thank you for joining. I meant to say. So, and how about you might look for a classroom management seminar? Maybe there might, we all could use a little bit of classroom management strategies or techniques. So think about that. You might find a workshop that talks about, creating positive, productive classroom environment. We may need that. I'm still working on my classroom environment um, because again, I changed my whole demographic changed what I actually do. Um, Hi, Adrian. What I do is so different than what I've ever done. Even when I had the shelter classroom with all Spanish speaking, I was the only teacher, so they had to fall in line and listen and learn what I was saying. So, classroom management is different now. When you have kids who don't listen to you, they tune you out. You have to figure a different way to manage that classroom. And how about you look for workshops that um, about cultural competence or diversity training? We could all. I don't know about you, but I have had conversations where I went back and say, "Oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Why did I say that? Did that sound racist? I don't whether it sound racist or not, or was I sensitive to somebody's beliefs, or was I sensitive to somebody's culture, or the way somebody teaches or where they come from. So we may need to go back and go to workshops about culturally responsive classroom. You can look for a professional learning community, like I said a few minutes ago. It helps when you have people going through the same thing that you're going through, and that you can discuss it. You can discuss your wins and losses. You could participate in collaborative learning and experiences. I think that would be a cool workshop where we got together and we had notes and we compared, offer strategies to each other, because we could get together and complain. That's easy to do. I don't like this. They're not doing this, and this is not happening. But what did you do that worked? We can discuss that. That's a great PD, and you can probably get some hours for that if you do it during your PLC time. If you have that in school, I'm pretty sure your principal will let you facilitate a workshop. I have done it. Yeah, I have done it. So I'm pretty sure they would. I don't know if you're supposed to be compensated. I don't know, but that's something. Go again, like we talked about, to social emotional learning workshops. Find those, seek those out. Again, I know our union, all our county union always sends us information about any workshop, any PDs that are going on. So it might be something that supports the social emotional learning and well-being of your students. And then also, how about, we all have, we I don't know about you. I don't know, maybe you're in a perfect district, but we all have special education needs in our classroom. I mean, whether they were classified or not, there are things that we need. We could look up those workshops, explore and learn strategies for effective teaching, with the diverse learning needs. you know Explore inclusive teaching practices and accommodations. Somebody can give you tips. We have students with IEPs, but some that don't, and we still have to know how to work with those students even if they don't. We can look up research based workshops, parent and community engagement workshops. There's so many mindful and well-being workshops. That's what I was talking about, that mindfulness and well-being seminar. That whole day that I went twice, and I loved it. That helped me so much. It helped me just regroup and learn about me, so I can go back in the classroom refresh. So just when choosing professional development sessions, it's important for teachers to consider their specific needs, the needs of their students, overall goals of your school and district. A well-rounded approach that combines different types of sessions can contribute to a teacher's professional growth, and effectiveness in the classroom. So just think about being well-rounded. It doesn't have to, the whole workshop doesn't have to be what you need, but there might be parts of it. So just think about that. So when shoes, I'm not gonna say that again. So I have that. And then there's the part when I said about your faith. If think about integration of faith and learning workshops that explore ways to integrate Christian values and principles in the curriculum. Loads, loads of workshops we can find. Character education workshops. They focus on instilling positive character traits. Biblical literacy in education. That strategies that incorporate biblical literacy into various subjects, enhancing students' understanding biblical narratives. I don't know. Every story has to be about a fairy in a forest being saved by a rabbit. That's fantasy. We could. I don't see why we can't use a Bible story. Why can't we? People have things to say, but we don't have things to say when we're talking about fairies and you know whatever kind of stories. These fairy tales that have all kind of things in it, and we could think about culturally responsive teaching from a Christian perspective. Find training in that addresses that. inclusivity from a Christian worldview. Everybody wants to be included, but they don't want to include Christians in this inclusivity. How you say it? They don't want that. You say Christian, you say Bible, you say anything like that, they can shut you down. But you say some other words, I'm not even trying to push, they don't have a problem with including that. So if you can include this, you can include that. You can include good. Why can't you include good? You know, so look for workshops like that build a positive Christian culture in your classroom. You may go to workshops at your church, and they will teach you how to be more Christ-like without pushing your faith. As you teach. I This is it right here. I'm not telling you to go into your classroom praying for people, preaching and all that, but you can exude, your values. Uh, think about workshops that have professional ethics, and Christian teaching, workshops that explore ethical considerations in the classroom. We have to teach ethics, even though that's not our job. That's not in our job description, but we have to teach that. We have so many teachable moments in our classroom that it's when we talk about that SEL, and we have just said we have an incident in our classroom, we have to go into whole teachable moment mode. You have students fighting each other, and they have to be in the classroom every day for 6 hours together. They have to get along. I don't care whose classroom it is. We can't say, okay, keep them away from each other. No, we have to teach them how to work together. We have to teach that. Again, digital citizenship. We can do all that from Christian lens. How about that is everything that I just said from a secular lens. Everything I'm saying now is the same thing I just said. I just put the word Christian in it. Digital citizenship. We have to be good citizens in this digital world, because we have students fighting each other online. And what do we do about that? We can teach our values in our classroom. And then we could even go to workshops about our teacher well-being, our spiritual formation. That all that will help us in our classroom, in our teaching, in our career, learning uh how to be spiritually well. Because I know we say we're mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit. And our mind is what communicates with people. Our spirit is what communicates with God, and our bodies, what everybody sees. So you can't see that mind and spirit, but we have to be well balanced. We have to think about our well being in all three of those aspects, and we will be more effective teaching. Then we have to think also find workshops that are about biblical worldview in education. What are we teaching? The various subjects that they're pushing in schools, do they work with us? How do we work with that? So I just remember just teaching, consider your own beliefs, the values of your school or district, the unique needs of your students, and we have it. We have it. I don't know who's there. If you have any questions or comments, you might have some comments. Somebody said people going in and out. So that would be great if you wanted to say something. If you wanted to add a comment or ask a question, because I know anything that we talk about, it works with our career, with our life. It can always be helpful for somebody. So I don't want to keep prolonging the day. I know that was pretty quick, but it worked. I got what I wanted to say. I believe it's effective. So just let me know if this helped you in choosing in choosing what kind of workshops, professional development workshops you choose, because we are inundated with a lot of workshops. We don't know what to choose. We ask our friends, what are you choosing? What are you going? I want to find something that I could just sit back in. But I want my workshops, my PDs to be productive. I'm tired of sitting in a classroom just because they said I need to go to it, and I don't need that information. I already have it. I want to be productive. I want it every workshop that I go to help me. So with that said, I just want to thank you for joining. I am Ronette Branham, here to offer biblical strategies for effective teaching, coming to you from Educators with Oil. Do you agree? I agree too, Zenaida. Thank you for offering that. Like, um, I appreciate it because we're just choosing workshops, right? I was about to hang up, I'm gonna hang up, but we just choosing, or they're giving us, and we're saying, what is everybody signing up for? What do we think? No, let it be productive so I can use it, go and utilize it in my classroom. Again, thank you for that. I appreciate you. And again, I am here to offer biblical strategies for effective teaching. We want to be effective on our job. Let's be effective on our job. And thank you and have a blessed day.